Hey guys, we need to talk about dating. It's one of the most important things, and the world gives us a lot of mixed messages. So I'm here to clear that up for you today. So the purpose of dating, one of the main things that we need to understand is that with any vocation, the whole purpose is to get to heaven. And so the purpose of dating is to discern the vocation of marriage. If you're discerning the vocation of marriage, you're discerning to have a spouse, somebody to lead you to heaven. This can be really hard, especially in the dating realm. We really have to have prudence in a lot of areas when it comes to choosing a spouse. We can't just rely on physical attraction. We also need to be attracted to their relationship with Christ, the way that, their personality is. And we really need to love that person and want to get that person to heaven as well. The Catechism of the Catholic Church, 1603 states, "The intimate community of life and love, which constitutes the married state, has been established by the Creator and endowed by Him with its own proper laws. God Himself is the author of marriage." The purpose of discernment is to figure out what God's will is in our lives. And so by figuring out what doors He's opening through prayer, meditation, and going to adoration and really having that relationship with God, we're able to figure out what His will is for our lives through doing those things. One of the ways that we do this is we figure out what we are looking for in a future spouse. And these things, the first thing should be that they are centered on Christ. And then there are other things that follow. Something that is important to touch on eventually is definitely chastity and where you both stand in that area. Pornography is a big issue these days, and so while you might not touch on that on the first date, it is really important that you eventually do touch on that if it's something you struggle with. Pornography is one of the main roots of issues in relationships. It is a form of cheating, and it is a mortal sin. And so we really want to respect our spouse, because when we watch pornography, it rewires our brains, and instead of viewing people as the children of God that they are and our brothers, sisters in Christ, we view them as objects. There are other resources online about chastity, because chastity is the full integration of a person. And so it's very important that we keep that in mind and that we try to cultivate that virtue of chastity in our relationships. Hookup culture is one of the most detrimental things that we are seeing today. Hookup culture aids abortion, it also aids contraceptives, and it just makes the family unit fall apart, which we are seeing today more than ever. Our Lady of Fatima stated that the final battle would be between Satan and the family. And so this is a huge issue we're seeing today, where families are torn apart. And people are saying that divorce is on the decline, but what people aren't realizing is that it's on the decline because people aren't getting married. So therefore, if people aren't getting married, there's no reason to actually get a divorce. So it's really important that we understand that being committed to somebody, even when it's really difficult, will pay off eventually in the future. And because you love them, love is not just a feeling, it's also a choice. It's willing the good of another. And if you truly love somebody, you will be with them through thick and thin. And it's also important to remember that if you are going on a first date, that is not a commitment, that is a first date. Don't get ahead of yourself. But if it goes really well, try a second date. The whole point of dating is to get to know somebody, and you can't really do that over a movie. But ice cream dates are really nice, picnics, going to mass together. These dates are really fun, and it's a really great way to discern if you want to go further with this person and actually become boyfriend and girlfriend, and then discern marriage. So I got engaged recently, and one of the things that I really appreciated about him was that he led me in my faith. He was a real leader, and he was willing to kind of pick me up when I was spiritually down. He would always be there to support me and bring me to mass and help me pray through a difficult situation. Faith is the number one thing we should be looking for in a spouse. However, the next thing after that is we should be looking for us ladies, we should be looking for a man like St. Joseph. For men, these qualities include being a protector and a provider, not just spiritually, but also physically, and having humility. And that's something that definitely stood out to me about my fiance. For men looking for a wife, you should be looking for a woman who has receptivity and gentleness, somebody who does imitate Our Lady. Now, there's tons of people out there that fit this description, but you have to keep in mind as well that complementarity is really important, and personality is a big factor as well. So complementarity for me and my fiance looks like him being able to tell me when I'm in the wrong, because I was sort of raised in the culture where I don't handle the word no very well. And so if I get something wrong, he is very gentle but quick to correct me in a very loving way. And so that is something that I do appreciate about him. Some other examples for us are that he is a wonderful cook. And while I'm not the best cook, I am really good at baking. And so we kind of switch off here and there. So he will teach me things about cooking and I will teach him things about baking. And he really loves art and poetry and reading philosophy books and all of that. And so we can do those things together and really enjoy our company and learn from each other. But it's really important to have that foundation of faith because we can enjoy these things together, but it all comes back to Christ.